Shalom. Koholo Yahweh by Shem Abishai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered, hopefully elect, that are scattered among the heathen nations around the four corners of the world, the globe, that be like unto the speckled bird, to the aquaf that are listening and learning to you, I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm, coming at you with another lesson from the Great Millstone branch here in Chicago. And just want to give you a couple images of when America was great and how the accuser of our brethren has used the media. Because postcards and news, this was a form of news and media. Injustice. And these men got no justice. All it took is for someone to accuse them or say something, and or accuse them of some crime, and it was usually something about touching or harming a Edomite woman. And as you can see, these people, the government participated because these were postcards that were sent through the mail. All right. And they would tell you, hey, this is how we did justice down here in Texas, or how we did it in Indiana. And they would take pictures of a burnt, charred, dismembered body, because that's why it's a towel wrapped around him, because they cut his penis off first and they tortured him and they stripped him naked and they beat him. They looked like they cut off his legs. There's nothing even left of his body, man. And they pose proudly with the picture. And if you look at the book that's down on the bottom here, one dies, get another. And that's pretty much what they did. We're going to go into that book and go into the high levels of the wickedness of Esau, Edom, and their true hatred for Jacob and Amalek's role in this whole thing. Because you have to remember, America is the scene of the greatest Holocaust known to man. The Holocaust of what was done to the natives, and the Holocaust of what was done to the so-called Negroes when they were brought here. The two of them both together being both the northern and the southern kingdom of the tribes of Israel. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33, because in this book you got Mexicans and natives that were hung in the same fashion with the same mobs. Okay? But this is Jeremiah 50 and 33, and it reads, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel," all right, which is the northern kingdom, "and the children of Judah," the so-called Negroes, West Indies and Haitians, "were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast and refused to let them go." But this is what E didn't count on or forgot about, didn't read the fine print. Verse 34. "Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon." So these riotous crowds that gathered to enjoy in the blood, and in the accusing of our brethren, they're gonna pay for it with their own blood. Thus saith the Bible. Not us, and not at the hand of us. All right? Well, at least not at first. All right? Because the Lord is gonna raise up the children of Israel to have vengeance upon their enemies. All right? The Lord is gonna do that. No one else. All right? In this book that's on the bottom, "One dies, go get another," is by Matthew J. Mancini, and basically it's about the 13th Amendment, which was in strong effect during the time of all these hangings. All right, so you either got hanged, or you got put to labor, to backbreaking labor until they worked you to death. All right, we're gonna go into that book too. As a matter of fact, let's raise it up. All right. And you see the men jailed in these little shacks, and the prison guards with their bloodhounds and their rifles standing around, and they just pull you out of there, and they'll work you to death, literally until you died. From 1866 to 1928, the same time that all these hangings were going on. So your fate, you truly were in the valley of death. And this is after slavery. And mind you, the slave trade was set up, ran, and orchestrated by the Jewish people today. All you got to do is Google who the owners of the slave ships were. Anyone can do that. So unless they're going to do the tedious work as removing all that information, all those shipping lists and owners, all that documentation. And then I got a feeling that if they remove it, people are just going to re-upload it again. And guess what? That information was put up by Edomites. The sons of Jacob, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans didn't put that information up. But yet that won't be the focus point. The focus point will be slander. This is Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a voice saying in heaven, now is come the salvation and strength of the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them before our power day and night. And that's what and so we're at that time where they're accusing us before our power day and night. They are accusing us before the whole world day and night while we're being the victim of the crime. If you've never seen the video with Vlad interviewing Godfrey, I highly suggest that you watch it. When the video about when he goes in about reparations and how everyone get upset about when reparations are brought up. And as a matter of fact, the best version to watch is the animated version that was put up by Carlito Way. You go to the animated news channel of Carlito Way and put in that Vlad goes off on Godfrey goes off on Vlad video. All right? Because the comforts that they have here in America has been at the hand of our people. The most important inventions, including a lot of the technology that I'm using to shoot this video. But you would never know that because the way they put it in the news and the media, well, Jake didn't create anything. Jake is just a burden on welfare. But let's flip a few pages. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Let's read that. Let's read some fake news. This is what they said. This is the view of the remains. All right. The view of the remains, and it may be hard to see because it's an old, very old image in black and white, the one on the left there. But I'll read it to you. It says, the view of the remains. Ketchum and Mitchell burned alive, Custer County, Nebraska, December 10th, 1878. Entered according to the Act of Congress in the year 1879 by H.M. Hatch in the office of the Librarian of Congress of Washington. So that's where you'll find this. That's where this entry is. A reward of $7,700 was offered for the arrest of Mitchell and Ketchum by one Olive, a cattle king from Texas. They were arrested by the sheriffs of Howard and Merritt counties and brought to the Kearney Lodge to jail. A reward paid over, and the prisoners were delivered to the sheriff of Gill and Keith County and taken to the Custer County, handcuffed together, shipped, and partly skinned, then burned alive. They hung up and left by the cattlemen to hang for several days. So this was done by your sheriffs. All right. And you can see there's a hole where his rod used to be. They cut it completely off. All right. But it says So they tortured these men in horrible manner. They were skinned. So they skinned them, remove skin from their body. You know how painful that is? Orders for relics view should be addressed to H.M. Hatch Artist, Kennery, Nebraska. Priced by mail, postpaid, 35 cents or 3 cents per dozen. So they made merchandise of their death and sold them. All right. Yep. Burned corpses of Amy Witt Kitchum and Luther H. Mitchell, December 10th, 1878. Callaway, Nebraska. All right. So there was no trial. There was no nothing of the, they didn't have a trial. They didn't have a due process or anything. They didn't even give them a chance to do backbreaking labor until they died, like these men and they just did what they did. And then they took pictures of it proudly, and they even gave you the names. So the families of these sheriffs that we read, their families should be made to pay restitutions to the descendants of these people. That would be justice. Let's look to the one on the right. William Brooks, who was lynched in Elkins, July 22nd, 1901, for the murder of the chief of police, Robert Lilly, while attempting to arrest him. The lynching of Williams Brooks, July 22nd, 1901, East Virginia. So this is just what the media put up. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet that if you were to look deeply into this story, that what they're telling you has happened is not happened at all. It looks like he don't even have one of his arms. He's only got, as a matter of fact, looks like he's missing his left arm from the elbow down. His face and eyes are completely contorted and swollen. Looks like his teeth has been beaten out of his mouth. Yeah. So this was another one that was tortured horribly before he died. Looked like his left foot might be missing too. It's just a pants leg hanging down. But yeah, they did horrible and unspeakable things, man, to our people. If you think there's not going to be some sort of judgment, some sort of payment for that, you're fooling yourselves, man. Let's get this scripture real quick in Wisdom of Solomon. All right, because see, they're using their media to slander and lie and build up a case. But what they fail to realize is that the book has already declared their failure, man. All right, just like when you read the accuser of our brethren. But shortly after the accusations comes the deliverance, man. So it's about to go down, man. And now they're gathering up guns and weapons and axe throwing classes being led by policemen yet again. Because when you look in this book, a lot of these mobs were led by law enforcement. So the mayors were there, the doctors were there, the pastors were there, the preachers were there, their faces. All right. So we can track these people down today using modern day technology. Will they do that? No, they're just going to label this video hate speech and that it's offensive to some. This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1. For great are thy judgments, they cannot be expressed. Therefore, unuttered souls have erred, and they did err. All right? For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness and fetters, with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from eternal providence. Hey, look, you're not going to get eternal life, man. Just like when you in the Maccabees, when they would torture one of the 7 brothers, he said, you awake to no salvation, man, or something to that effect. You have no resurrection, because when Obadiah, read the book of Obadiah, man, that's to you Edomites, man. That's to Amalek. That's where the owners of the news media and that are pushing this false campaign against my brethren, all right, against my people. That's their end result. Read the book of Obadiah, because that's talking about you. All right. Verse 3. For while they supposed to lie and hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under the dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions, man. So when the Lord comes, man, he's going to come in all kind of manner of crazy things, like a movie, like a dark animated cartoon. All manners of torture and horror are going to come upon Esau, Edom, the heathen, and you 2/3, man. All right. And let's get another prophecy about, matter of fact, while we're reading this book, let me go back to that, see if I can find that page again. Because, I mean, it's just never ending, and how proud when they pose with their faces in the images. There we go. It says, as a matter of fact, let's read this letter that he wrote, what he wrote on the back of this card. It says, this is the barbecue we had last night. My picture is the one on the left with the cross, with a cross over it. It's your son, Joe. All right. So Joe is identifying himself in this. And the U.S. Post Office was the deliverer of this murder, of this unrighteous deed. And do you think the sheriff showed up to arrest these people, and identify them? Hell no. All right. But like this one, we're gonna go into this book too, the cruelty of the 13th Amendment, man. All right, we're gonna go into that. We're gonna get into that. But it says, let me get this scripture. One dies, get another, man. To hang him or work him till his back break. The chain gang. But this is the book of Isaiah, the 42nd chapter, man. And this is my question to anyone who's Jewish. All right, is how do you fit this scripture? When and where did it happen? This is Isaiah 42 and 22. And it reads, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them hid in snares and holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. For the spoil, and none saith, restore. Nobody restores or delivers Jake from the hands of Esau and his incarceration. No one. You know, and then Jake doesn't have to put together fabricated, elaborate schemes and videos of false flag events and attacks, because attacks are real, man. Jake, the number one killer, the number one murderer of the so-called black man in America is law enforcement. That's fact. The number one killer of the Gadites, of a particular race of people, the so-called North American Indian, man and female, all right? They're dying at the hand of law enforcement in untold numbers, man. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, going honor unto Yahweh by Shem Abba Shai, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.